In combat, time is the real enemy, especially during the Civil War, when it takes forever to reload your musket after firing it. But what if there was something that could change all that? A rifle that could fire again and again. Could it change the rules of engagement? Thanks to one young gunsmith, that's just what happens.
It's April 6, 1862. Thousands of Confederate soldiers are creeping through the dense Tennessee woods. They sneak up on Ulysses S. Grant's army, and the forest explodes with fire and fury.
The Battle of Shiloh is about to begin.
It's a brutal surprise attack. Grant is struggling to bring order out of the chaos.
Grant's troops are armed with a front-loading rifled musket. The problem with a rifled musket is each time a volley is fired, it takes something like 20 to 30 seconds to reload it.
In the time it takes you to reload and fire, your enemy can close the distance and you end up with a bayonet in the chest.
The battle lasts for 2 days, and after he receives reinforcements, Grant is finally able to beat the Confederates back. But the death toll is astonishing.
23,000 are dead or missing. The carnage teaches both Confederate and Union leadership that they need a faster rifle. Turns out, one exists.
2 years before the Battle of Shiloh, Christopher Minor Spencer, the 27-year-old gunsmith, patents a rifle that he thinks is going to change the nature of warfare.
The Spencer repeating rifle holds 7 rounds in a spring-loaded magazine. Every time the shooter fires, all he needs to do is cock the hammer, then pull down the lever to advance the next round.
Spencer's rifle uses pre-loaded cartridges that contain the gunpowder as well as the round, and you'd load it into the back of the rifle.
In the 20 seconds it takes for an expert with a muzzle loader to reload, Spencer's rifle can fire 7 times. That's a huge tactical advantage.
By 1861, the Civil War breaks out, so he figures the Union Army is going to be super excited to scoop up his new rifle.
He's wrong. The Union Army's bureaucracy moves slowly, so Spencer takes his rifle on the road, demonstrating it personally to Yankee commanders. One, Colonel John T. Wilder of Indiana, is intrigued.
Colonel Wilder has seen what the Spencer repeating rifle can do, and he wants it for his unit. But the Army isn't supplying these weapons. So he gets his men together, and they pay for it themselves.
In June 1863, 14 months after Shiloh, Wilder and his men put the Spencer to the ultimate test at the Battle of Hoover's Gap.
The Confederates are expecting standard muskets and small arms. So they are absolutely stunned by the rapid firepower of Wilder's troops.
Colonel Wilder's unit, armed with the Spencer repeating rifle, is charged with advancing into the gap. Not only do they do that, but they manage to advance another 2 miles beyond what they were supposed to.
One Confederate general estimates Wilder's brigade to be 5 times larger than his forces, when in fact, Wilder's brigade is actually outnumbered 4 to 1.
In the aftermath of the battle, Wilder's force now becomes known as the Lightning Brigade because they move like lightning across the battlefield and they fight like lions because they're armed with the Spencer carbine.
After this dramatic demonstration of the effectiveness and the advantage of the Spencer rifle, Union officers began demanding these things for their own units.
And yet the rifle still doesn't gain much traction. Union brass worries it's too expensive, plus they just ordered thousands more single-shot rifles. Spencer can't believe it and hatches a plan.
In his frustration, Spencer decides to just go over all the military's heads and write directly to their boss, Abraham Lincoln.
The president is a veteran. The president knows how to handle a firearm. And Spencer is thinking, if I can just get the president to see what my rifle is capable of, well, then the Army will adopt it. And Lincoln eventually agrees to see Spencer.
On August 18, 1863, carrying one of his repeating rifles and plenty of ammunition, Spencer arrives at the White House and walks straight into the president's office. And Lincoln likes what he sees.
The next day, Spencer takes Lincoln to this cornfield, which is roughly where the Washington Monument is today. And they take turns firing his Model 1860 rifle at a marked piece of wood as target practice.
After firing the weapon himself, the president realizes that this is a unique design, that this offers a capability to Union fighting forces that the Confederate military does not have and cannot have. Lincoln instructs the Ordnance Department to move quickly in adoption of this weapon.
The War Department ignores the president's recommendation because they're concerned that Spencer's repeating rifle is going to lead to unprecedented demands on ammunition.
Less than a year later, after Abraham Lincoln fires and replaces his head of procurement, well, the U.S. Navy puts in a large order for those rifles, and the U.S. Army quickly follows.
Finally, the Spencer Repeating Rifle Company ramps up production, delivering over 100,000 rifles for the U.S. military over the course of the war. For mounted cavalry units, this repeater is a match made in heaven.
With 7 rounds ready to go, this gives cavalry troops a major advantage. They can ride into battle and not have to stop to reload. They can keep moving, they can keep firing, they can keep their enemy on their toes.
Union Major General James H. Wilson says there is no doubt that the Spencer rifle is the most effective firearm ever placed into the hands of a soldier. One man armed with this weapon is as effective as 3 with any other arm.
In a final bit of irony, assassin John Wilkes Booth is armed with a Spencer carbine rifle when he is captured and killed. The very same weapon Lincoln himself helped make a wartime standard.